Mav, it seems like in the second half, you and LeRon were just pulling down a lot of boards, and we're working in outlet passes. Is that the kind of thing where when Coach talks about speeding up the tempo, does that come to mind for you when he talks about that?
Yeah, I would say the easiest way to run offensively in transition is obviously getting stops or rebounds. It's a lot different than taking the ball to the net. It's bouncing once, twice, three times, then you kind of end up not walking the ball off the floor, but it doesn't move at the same speed as it does on a stop. And I think that's something that getting those rebounds helps speed everything up.
Jeremy?
Kipper, you added a little bit of energy off the bench. Just what did you think about your role tonight? You seemed to be eager to shoot a little bit more ready to shoot.
Not really. I just trying to take what the game gave me tonight. I made some shots. Was fortunate enough to make some shots on the offensive end, and just got to do better. Got to do better rebounding. Got to get more rebounds. Got to do better on defense. So.
Shannon?
Maybe you can talk about this. Just it seems like inconsistencies within a game has really troubled you guys. Get hot and then a cold stretch. Can you put your finger on anything, or can you kind of sense when that's coming, or what gets you into those pitfalls?
Starting with sense when it's coming. I don't think any of us really, sense it at all. If we do, there's obviously steps we take to correct things like that. We're never, if we see ourselves going down a path, we always try to divert it and get back to what we do. Honestly, some of tonight was just didn't make shots, and that's something you don't hear a whole lot because obviously there's other aspects to the game. You don't want to tie defense to offense. You don't want to do a lot of things, but that's something you need to do to win pretty much night in, night out, and we didn't shoot it very well. Not saying that is the reason we lost, but that's that's something that certainly doesn't help.
Scott?
Kipper, you guys were able to avoid the slow start in the first half. Was it frustrating that it hit you in the second half, maybe after you'd played better?
Yeah, it's always frustrating when you lose, when you don't play as well as you thought you could have. Different from a lot of games, like you said, we played fairly well in the first half. Got to play 40 minutes of basketball.
Obviously, I'm proud of the way our guys competed. I thought they really battled. I thought we had a great physical and mental energy about us in the first half. The start of the second half, I didn't think our defense was quite as good as it was during the first half. In the first half, we gave up 35, and we fouled too much, 10 free throw attempts for them, and then second chance points. But I thought our first shot defense was really good in the first half. In fact, really good. And then offensively, I thought we were pretty good. We just didn't make shots. I felt like, when I looked at that stat sheet and saw a couple of the guys were 0 for on some of the shots they had and who those guys were, I thought, man, we could be up anywhere from 5 to 10 points, and just, that didn't go our way with the shot making. Second half, I didn't think our defense was quite as good the first, probably 10 minutes. Thought they got us on some interior screening. The second chance was better, but interior screening, I thought they drove us a couple times on pick and roll coverage. We once again made a couple adjustments there, and the guys shored that up. Our defense once again kind of got us back in the game. And then very much like the other day, we had 2 or 3 threes there where, no one's even around, and, we don't make any of them at that stretch. Very similar to the other day when we played here against Wisconsin, and it was a 6-point game. So, obviously shot making, it's tough to win when you shoot 4 for 22 from 3, but I'm very, very comfortable with the balance of who took the shots and, the shots we took for the most part. We forced a few at the end trying to come back, but we got inside-out threes. We threw the ball inside. Thought we had good balance and blend. Offensively, we just didn't make enough of them. We did have some sloppy turnovers, although 10's not a lot. I thought 2 or 3 of them were a little sloppy and at bad times. But all in all, it comes down to, shot making for us today. And we just didn't 4 for 22. We're not, that's not going to be a good formula. 38% field goal that's good enough to win. But unfortunately didn't make enough shots today. Questions?
You feel like some of the guys maybe are putting too much pressure on themselves, trying to do too much right now, and that's contributing to missed shots?
Yeah, I mean, that's only a guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm trying to, I don't want to tell them we're playing basketball here. We're, playing the game that we love and go out there and play it. And, obviously, Coleman, Lands, and Hill, I mean, those guys are a lot better shooters than what they shot today. They know that, I know that, and you guys know that. And today they just didn't go our way. I believe in those guys. And, in fact, I took J. Cole out one time because he didn't shoot it. That's what they're supposed to do. And, today, obviously, if you'd have told me they were going to go 0 for 15, I probably wouldn't have guessed that one. But, I don't know. You try to do everything you can. I try to put everything on me as much as possible and let them kind of roll. But, I don't know. They're better shooters than what they shot today. That I do know. We'll look at it. We always look at reps. I've been on them about reps. Sometimes balance or sometimes they'll leg kick or, I want to control the rep and make sure they got great technique. And then, sometimes you can't control whether they all go in or not. But, they would like to make a couple more than 0 for 15 probably, And I'm confident that they will. I'm going to continue to tell those guys to shoot the ball. And, I want them stepping up when they're open and taking shots. I thought even on the last one there, Hill took one that was wide open, missed it, got it back, and then had another one that was wide open. And I think Kipper thought he was going to shoot it because no one was guarding him. And Malcolm jumped up and tried to pass it there and tried to bring the ball back with him. And, and I don't blame Kipper for doing that. We want Malcolm to shoot that ball. If he misses it, he misses it. But that's his job. That's his role. He's earned that right. And, today they just didn't go our way.
Jeremy?
John Kipper obviously had a big first half, and then he was the 4th guy off the bench. Can you just say why? And
yeah,
if
sure.
you thought of getting him back in sooner?
Obviously, we're trying to play certain groups together based on what we have. Today, we did throw him out there at the 3 quite a bit. He doesn't know that position quite as well as the other one right now. He's working on it very hard, and so we played him out of position a little bit today just to get him on the floor more. We'll look at it, and maybe we could have got him in a minute earlier or whatever, but a lot of it's based on combinations of guys we're trying to play together. But I thought he was really productive, in his 23 minutes and continues to get better. A lot of it's just his motor and his competitive toughness and his athleticism and body making plays because he's a pretty tough dude. In terms of knowledge, I've said even earlier this week, in terms of knowing what he's doing, he's way better than he was when he started, but we still got some work to do there, and it's our job to keep helping him and make sure he understands, what he needs to do out there.
Shannon?
You guys got off to a pretty good start today. You've had some struggles with that, but then, cold stretches later.
Yeah.
Just wondering, your thoughts on kind of the inconsistencies within a game that you guys
Yeah,
have.
today I wish I could, point to. Now I do think our pick and roll coverage a couple times, Shannon, wasn't great, and that led to some baskets they got. We called the timeout, made an adjustment. We got it corrected a little bit. So there's a couple things on defense, but I hate to oversimplify it, but we got to make a couple more. I mean. I'm not asking, we don't have to shoot 80%, but we have to make a few more than what we did today. And I thought we got pretty good ones and, had the right guys shooting the ball. We just didn't make enough of them.
Shannon again.
Heard your comment on the radio about, you can take the hits
Oh,
and
sure.
to be,
I
to
got
support
thick skin.
and support the players. Just, but do you sense some frustration out there, and can you kind of expand on?
Maybe. I don't know. The question earlier. It's a great question that he asked. I mean, obviously you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old minds. I know, for example, Malcolm Hill. I can tell by his disposition after the game, he cares. All right. So there's no need to kick him. He's my guy, and I'm living with the shots he's taking. He missed some today. So it is what it is. I want him to continue to be aggressive and to take shots, and I do want him to play freely. I think that's important. But yeah, I want to. Those guys care a lot, and I don't want them putting added. Because the one thing I said the other day, and I think it's true, Shannon, is I don't want them to get frustrated. It's easy to do, especially when you're that age, any age. But I've always said a frustrated athlete usually doesn't perform very well. So it's okay to be disappointed that you didn't make shots or didn't win. It's okay. I expect them to be that way, but you can't allow that to walk around in your mind. You've got to be able to take it for what it is, learn from it, move on, and that's certainly what we're going to preach, model, and Malcolm will be fine. He'll have a couple days of practice and be ready to go on Tuesday.
What about when the outside? Do you sense some impatience?
I don't know. Obviously today, what an unbelievable crowd. Great crowd. First I'll say I appreciate it. That's awesome. That people care that much, and we really appreciate it. We certainly don't take it for granted. But at the end of the day, I tell them we got to play for each other, and for me personally, for a little higher being and each other. And that's more important to me than anything else. So I don't really, Shannon, honestly, I don't pay attention to that a whole lot. I mean, I just kind of roll, and that's really what I want them to do. I do think it's a little more challenging when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, when maybe something's not going your way or you'd like to play better. So, but we're going to continue to stay positive with them, and like I said, those guys today, especially 2 or 3 of those guys, I thought they got great looks, and we just didn't make enough of them today.
Coach, to your right down here.
Coach, looking at the shot chart, looks like 7 layups for you guys in the first half, only 2 in the second half. You think that was more of what Minnesota did defensively, or more of a little what you
I'll have to take a look at it. Obviously, I don't have, late in the game, we started forcing some things to try to come back and shoot a little bit quicker, ran some things that were kind of quick hitters and initiators because of time and score. But, up until that point, I felt like we were playing inside out. Now, they were doubling a little bit in there with the Mav and even Thorne. They were bringing extra helpers, and give those guys credit. Thorne had the assist to Kipper in the first half, big to big when they doubled, and Mav threw it out, and I thought he got J. Cole threes and Hill threes, and Mav was aggressive on the glass and took what was there, and I thought just kind of played the game the right way, But we didn't make enough of them.
Jeremy?
John Tracy, 3 minutes. What was the decision behind that?
Yeah, just my decision based on, kind of what I thought was best for our team at this juncture, and for him at this juncture. But, we'll continue to evaluate it. It's no different than – I thought Thorne was good today. He didn't, play the other day, with the game plan and different things we were doing in that game. Thought today was a little bit better fit, and he did a great job, I thought he was really good. Gave us a presence inside, 2 for 2 from the field, had an assist to Kipper, provided us a physical body in there. So they've all got to be, ready at this point.
Scott?
Yeah, you closed the rebounding gap. Actually, won the battle by 2. But did Minnesota's early offensive rebounds maybe make?
Yeah, I thought that was huge, Scott. Great point. I just thought first half, second chance points by them, and our fouling. And I mean, you hate to. I don't want to give them second chance points, and you don't want to give them points to the foul line, because I thought our defense was plenty good enough. We held them to 30% field goal D in the first half. I mean, we were pretty good when we didn't foul, and when we blocked out. Our first shot defense was excellent. And then you combine that. I look at the stat sheet with a couple of our guys that I knew had gotten great looks, and I see some offers, and I'm like, dang. Well, I thought we played pretty well if we could make a couple shots and play hard without fouling, because our first shot defense was pretty good. In the first half was really good. So, again, I think that's a great point. I thought I can't remember what the total was first half and how many points they had on second chance, because I've got the cume here in front of me, but ended up being 12-11. We did close the gap a little bit. Thought LaRon and Mav and Kipper were big time on the glass. They competed on the backboard, both offensively and defensively.